Well, we got our first frost and our first hard freeze all in the same night, and the weatherman screwed the pooch. So let's look and see what happened, and I'll tell you the scenario. Basically what happened was it's supposed to be 30 degrees and it ended up being 24, and then the next day it's supposed to be around the same, and it ended up dropping, and it stayed cold for a long time. And I didn't get things covered. So let's see how it all survived. When I say it didn't get covered, so we're on our third day of this now, and I mean nothing was done. The greenhouse was left open, the cover wasn't on the two beds, and I actually went back in and decided to go ahead and make some new covers just because it's gonna continue to get cold and get colder. Clearly the forecast is all jacked up, so we're gonna just run that one the way it is and just say, hey, you know what, we're not going to believe you for the rest of the season. We need a new weather person, just saying. Holler at your boy. And yeah, so I'm going to go through, and what I did is I came out and I ended up covering these two beds, but they hit 24 degrees, which is way lower than I wanted some of these plants to get. And the other ones out back here, so these all can do pretty good with that. But what happened was we got really cold, and the first night it dropped down, you know, it hit 24 at some point in the night. But the next night when I went to bed at, I keep farmer's hours, so around 9:30ish, it was already 24 degrees, and when I woke up it was 24 degrees. So that means it was a solid 8 hours of 24 degrees out here, and then it got to like 45 the next day, which was our one saving grace. So we did get a little bit of damage, but it's not as bad as you would think. First of all, our Seminole pumpkin is finally gone, and I've been walking around and I think I saw one here somewhere. I saw another pumpkin. I've got a little pile stashed, we'll see in a little bit, but we definitely had a pumpkin. But our Brussels sprouts have making it pretty good. I mean, you know, that was about as cold as I want to get. And the reason why I put this hoop up, which I need to modify, but because of the time constraints we have and my budget constraints, I went with a 2-wall design. I do need to cut about roughly a foot off of each one of these pipes that I put up, but I'm not going to do that right now. I'm just going to run it the way it is, and then once I get a little bit more time, I will do it. But you know, we just want to get something in place. But the Brussels sprouts, they don't really look like they're phased too much. You come over here to the rutabagas, and they actually are showing a little bit of hurt. So I'm not really rushing to trim. Like, this is probably going to die off. It feels nasty, you know, real limp. But, you know, a lot of the leaves are fine, so I'll probably end up trimming it, but I want to see if it's going to die off. Stress this enough. When we're doing these, when you have these freezes and stuff like that, a lot of times the leaves will recover. So we don't want to go too crazy and start hacking everything off. So we'll just let it go and see what happens. You know, we came out the next morning and the Seminole pumpkin was dead. So, you know, we can take that out whenever, and we are going to get to it. Trust me, I'm ready for it to be gone. But I mean, you come over here to the broccoli. This broccoli does pretty good. This bed gets early morning sun, so it can rebound faster than some of the others. And this one's done pretty well. We do, you know, a little bit here and there, but nothing major. But again, putting a cover over this is going to make a big difference. And then coming over to this bed, mostly looks good. Some of the cabbage is a little bit hurting. I don't know. But you know, once that sun turns that corner there, we should be able to rebound a little bit and see what happens. But again, with this plastic that we're going to put in place, it should all be good. The beds that are covered, well, actually, let me show you the greenhouse first. So the greenhouse was left wide open. You know, what my personal belief is, even though you don't want things to get really freezing cold, I do like for them to hit the lows temperatures just to kind of toughen them up a little bit. And you know, we had fully anticipated 30, 28, 24, 24, 40, and then that was how our temperatures were going to go. And by the way, I'm in coastal North Carolina. My zone doesn't matter, but cold like this isn't a normal thing for us. So the door was left wide open. The potatoes actually, I mean, look, this guy, and you know, this is done. So we're just going to leave it until the other ones are ready, but everything else is looking really good here. I mean, I'm not seeing any issues. I did come out here yesterday and replace this arm, so I've left everything here in case something needs to be adjusted, because be quite honest, I'm not totally sure what I'm doing and the directions aren't very good. But the seedlings here, they've made it through. So they still have water. Nothing looks damaged, so we're gonna keep running it. All the lettuce here is looking good and looks like it's perking up a little bit. Maybe it needed a little bit bite of cold, you know, just to chill it out a little bit. So I won't be leaving the greenhouse open anymore. And today we have a high of like 47, I believe. So any heat that we can trap in there, we really want to. What I noticed though, when it was 24 that night when I went to sleep, it was still 57 degrees in the greenhouse. And when I woke up in the morning, it was 32 in there. So we were doing math in public, makes me look stupid. 8 degrees warmer in the greenhouse. So it worked out pretty good. This is the turnip bed and radish bed. And this is one I really didn't want to get cold. But when you lift it up, yeah, my cover just collapsed on us. Let's see if we can look under the skirt decently. Nothing major, no major bite or anything like that. Everything's looking pretty good. So I'm not gonna argue too much about that. I mean, this is working. So these, I have this bar on here, which I really like because I can lift up like that. Bok choys are holding pretty good. I'm not really worried about anything else in here, but the bok choy are the one I was really kind of worried about. And there's a little bit of damage, but nothing terrible by any stretch of the imagination. So I made the decision yesterday. I was looking at the forecast and man, it's been all over the place and clearly it's not right. It was, you know, I think Tuesday night. Is it Tuesday? Yeah, maybe. Tuesday night was supposed to be 24. Then it was 22, then it was 28, and now it's back at 22. So I made the decision that I was gonna make a couple more covers and just get them out, get them up, and get them ready. And then when I went out, what I realized is inflation is a real bitch. So what I did is I bought the bare bones setup. So this one has 3 ribs in it. So this is a rib, just so you know. This has 3 ribs in it, and then it has a bar in the front for the plastic, okay? That one over here has 2 ribs in it and a bar in the front. And, you know, it doesn't have the structure stability that I really would like in the middle. We can come back and obviously add another rib, but, and the bar in the front really does make it easy to go up into it and look and vent and stuff like that. But what I did is I bought for 4 beds because I don't really need to cover this rutabaga bed. I'm not overly concerned about it too much, and we're gonna put our broccoli in it in a couple days. So if it dies, it dies. Not, like I said, I'm not concerned. So I bought 2 ribs only for 4 beds. I did not get the crossbar for the front, and I got another roll of plastic. It cost me $115. So you do the math, divided by 4, that's right at about probably what, $28 per bed. So I kind of didn't want to do it, but at the same time I was like, you know what, once I get everything set up, so at this point there will be no more moving stakes around and stuff like that. Those stakes will sit in these beds indefinitely until I'm ready to change them or get rid of them or do something. So it's gonna make it a little bit easier for me. I don't know if I have enough plastic. I'm gonna have to just kind of work around that and make some tough decisions if I need to. But you know, I kind of maxed out my budget in which I was willing to spend. You know, we're gonna add 4 more beds up front. So we technically have 5 more beds we would need to make them for in the future, but I'm not planning on needing them for the spring. The way that we're gonna do it is I will, if I have to, I will move one of these over into the 2 new beds that we put in, because we're gonna leave 2 beds empty and plant 2 beds. So we're gonna kind of work around that the best we can. But I'm not really, I'm glad that it's all set up now and it's peace of mind. I just need to cut the plastic and put on, which is kind of a pain, but inflation took the prices out of control. So each component other than the plastic was $4. So the 2-foot rebar stake that I used was $4. The PVC pipe was $4. So you can see how it adds up. And I will end up coming back and doing over time, adding that third rib into each one. We'll see how this setup goes. If we get this set up and the wind's blowing it all over the place, or I can't find enough weights for the plastic, then we'll add another bar in the front for them. But I'm really hoping I don't have to do that. So we'll see how it goes. But I'm pleased that there's not really a lot of damage. And what's going to end up happening is we're going to cover these today. And truth be told, we probably won't uncover them for a couple days. And when it warms up in here, then it just speeds up the process of growing, because it's getting it has a microclimate building in there. There's humidity, there's heat and stuff like that. So we'll be able to kind of speed up the process. The decomposition of the fertilizer within the soil will start to kind of go a little bit faster. We're going to leave them on as long as possible. It looks like most of the week, if not all week, we can do it. And that can be a big game changer. I mean, we notice every year in the greenhouse, just having it closed like this makes all the difference. And when we walk in, you know, just feeling the temperature, which I kind of need to go in here because I'm a little bit cold, it makes a big difference. Now that the door's flying around me and I can't get it. Oh, that magnet's way too good. Come on. There we go. So once we get it, you know, we get in here, it's not bad in here. Like I said, it's in the 40s outside and it's 60 degrees in here right now. So it's nice. And when that sun hits, it'll bump up to 70. And what I need to do today is just make sure that this opens up like it's supposed to. You know, it's got a wax cylinder in it, so we're making sure that the wax cylinder is adjusted appropriately to open it and push it so that we can vent some of that hot air out. Because what I want to eliminate, did y'all hear that? It was an emergency alert. I thought it was game time. There's a child abduction somewhere in our state. But I forgot what I was saying now. Damn. Scream at the TV or your device as loud as you can what I was talking about, and I'll get it. It didn't work. I was talking about the temperature, minimizing that temperature fluctuation in here. So this will help minimize it. The solar fan will kick on intermittently and help push that air out as well. And then the same in the greenhouses out there, we'll be able to vent them. What I did the other day is I just opened up one end of the tunnel just to let some air flow. If that plastic doesn't blow around like crazy, then, you know, truth be told, I'm good with the way it's set up. I'm not going to add anything that I don't need to. The 3 braces are definitely good for the rain. High winds, I don't know. Really, any kind of high wind can be questionable. There's an issue here with getting weights. You know, we can put bricks on it, we can put sticks on it, stuff like that. But at the same time, like, I almost get to the point where I'm like, look, if I'm going to be running around buying bricks or finding bricks and stuff, I can't find a rock in my area to save my life. Then, you know, I'll just buy the stuff to put it on there and then just call it good and be done with it. And there's a little bit of a freedom about that. There's our scraps that we found laying around, and I know there's one more somewhere around here. But if I really hope that we go through this, and you guys, I know it's cold in a lot of places, and y'all are really being able to keep your gardens going and protect them. And just remember, here it is. Perfect. And just remember that it'll pass, and just do what you can do. And I mean, you know, if something happens and you make a mistake, it is what it is. You know, you can't do anything about it. So if I would have lost everything, I would have immediately pivoted into going back in and just amending beds and letting them rest and being ready for the next season. It's really not that big a deal. So since the sun is blinding me and it's turning around, I'm going to cut these pieces of plastic and get this set up, and we're going to weather the cold. So I hope you guys' garden's doing okay. Let us know how you're faring through all this, and I keep the conversation going. Link below or in the description below. And also, if you want to be part of our gardening club, become a member. We're going to be doing garden experiments. Meetings are on the 2nd Wednesday of the month, starting in December. I will be sending out notifications shortly about that, and we will get it all set up. I hope to see you guys there.